Well, good morning. And before we get started in today's video, I want to thank some people for commenting in my last videos. Gabriella, she is new to journal making and she commented on the video where I was organizing papers and supplies for a new journal. So she found that very helpful. Brenda is also new to journal making. So I told both those ladies that you will find this craft so rewarding and so fun to do. Lisa asked me about whether I make my ephemera first and then the journal, or the journal and then the ephemera. And I kind of do both, Lisa. I sometimes make ephemera, like right now for this journal, the Regal or Renaissance journal. I am making the ephemera first. It just kind of depends. And then these people also commented on my videos. So let's get started in today's project of what I'm hopefully going to inspire you with and maybe teach you a little something about. Another way that I like to decorate pages is with my border punches. And so I've got several pages here that I'm going to put in the journal, and let's just start with this one right here. So it's got a green tone to it on both sides. When I printed it off, this side was much larger than this side. And another thing that I do just behind me is, I don't know, it's about 10 drawers, just one of those little plastic drawer things that you can buy at Joann's or Michael's here in the United States. And I have all my scraps divided into colors. And so this is just my green scraps. So I'm going to go through it and kind of look and see what green color would kind of match that. That wouldn't be too bad, although the paper's a little bit on the thinner side. No, I don't really like that. Here's some coffee dyed paper. That might work. Let's try that. So let's just pull that out. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is first fold it in half, because what I want to do is strengthen up these sides before I punch them. So I need to tear this down first. And so I'm just going to use a tear ruler and just tear that off on those sides. I think I'm gonna hold off doing the tops at this point. So the next thing I'm going to do, I folded this in half, but I do want to have it on both sides. So I'm just going to cut this in half, or tear it in half, sorry. So I have enough for both sides. And then I'm going to fold it in half again. On both papers. Because sometimes when you use your border punches, it makes the paper on the edge just too weak. So now I'm going to glue these, and I think I can just use glue stick. I've got a glue paper here. And let's just flip it around and do the other side here, the end. Like I said, some of this may be cut off, so it doesn't really matter. And then let's just lay this in here. And then fold it over. And that'll make that nice and strong. And then let's do this other side too. So when this airs, I will still be in Australia, but toward the end of the trip, should be coming home soon. I've been looking at the weather. It's going to be beautiful weather, but I did see that it might have a little bit of rain. I always have a list of things to do, and I'm sure you guys do before you travel. But I start making a list of things that I need to pack, and I added umbrella and rain jacket onto my list this morning after I looked at the weather. I was actually going to pull that up a little bit. Oh, that is pretty sticky. That's the Faber-Castell glue stick. Boy, my hands are sticky. And you know what? That just did not do very well at all. That was not that was not centered. How did that happen? I had folded the paper. Well, you know what? I think it's going to be okay. We're just going to leave it as is. And I'm going to let that dry for just a minute, because if you don't, your border punches will stick. So let's grab another piece and see what we can do, what other one we want to border punch. Now, the thing you have to look at as you're deciding is, when you punch, is it going to go into the picture? And sometimes you may not mind that, but I want to make sure we see these ladies completely. So I'm not going to do that one. This one, now this one may be okay because there's quite a bit of space here. So I think that one will be okay. So let's work on that one and see what we can do. So let's trim off these edges again. And this Tim Holtz ruler works wonderful for tearing edges. And then let's see, what paper do I want? I don't have a lot of green scraps. Purple scraps. That's kind of what I wanted. So let's go again into the green and see which will work. Well, that may work. Let's just try that. Oh, no, I changed my mind again because it's just so thin. Yeah, let's see here. I think if it's on that side, it'll be okay. Let's try this pattern here because I've got quite a bit of it and it's a thick paper. So I just want to trim it. And let's see, we want about 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to trim it to 1.5 inches. Two of them. To do both sides. And then fold it in half and glue that down. And I think the other thing I'm going to do, and actually you could, no, I was thinking that about tearing that, but I like it better straight edge, because if you're going to use the punch, you do want it more of a straight edge. And instead of the glue stick, I'm going to use my beacons, because that was difficult to get across there and get it even. Okay, and now the other side. I do have 2 excursions that I have booked for my trip while I'm in Sydney. There's going to be about 5 days where I'm going to be in Sydney by myself exploring. And so I have 2 excursions booked. One is a dinner cruise around the harbor and the opera house. And then the other thing I booked was a day trip to the Blue Mountains. Now I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer and trim off those other edges here. So let's just bring this in, line this up. And like I said, this now will make those edges really nice and sturdy. And let's just go ahead and bring this one in and do it, even though it's not completely dry yet. Okay. Let's see. I want to make sure that this is dry. I'm a little bit nervous to do it until I'm absolutely positive it's dry. Well, I'm going to just set that over to the side, and I'm going to bring in another page. I love this image, but this I think definitely needs some purple. So let me pull out my purple scraps. I do have a few, but I need to have them big enough. That might be okay. I obviously was using some spray paint for that. Ooh, that's a deep, rich color. Ooh, I think I like that. Let's just try that. Let's just see about that. And I think it'll be long enough. And again, I was spray painting the edge of this because I know this paper was just that brown color at first. Okay, so let's trim off our edge. Yeah, that's going to be okay. And let's cut this in half. I'm going to make sure we've got enough. Yep, that'll work. Oh, I love that darker color. I need to make sure I use that. So I'm going to fold it this way. And then that darker color is going to be on the edge. Yeah, this is darker over here. And then once again, I think it's best if I use my beacons. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, when I first started doing these border punches on the edges, and I got the idea from Sharon Hearth. She does that a lot in her journals, and it's a fantastic way to make your edges of your journals look pretty. But I found that sometimes as I was turning the pages in the journal, it would be too weak and would tear. And so then that's when I came up with this idea to strengthen them a little bit before I border punch them. Okay, so now let's border punch their first ones we did. It was this one. And let's just try this one. I hope it's dry enough. I'm going to stand up because I need that leverage to push down. Oh, and I'm sorry, I've moved the camera. And so it's swaying. I apologize. Now, isn't that gorgeous? And that is definitely more stable. So when you fold it and slip it into a journal, you sew it into a journal, as you turn the pages, it is definitely a lot more sturdy. Wow, I love that idea. That is fantastic. Let's try the other one here. This was the next one that we did. And I'm pretty sure it's dry. And is this going to be big enough? Ooh, I'm going to have to use this punch again because this other one is just too wide. So let's do this one. It's a good punch. That's pretty. Oh, and look at that edge. Oh, isn't that lovely? So again, when you fold it, and that is in your journal, that is going to be beautiful. Yes, I love that. And then I think for this one, this is going to be wide enough to be able to use this other punch. But I'm going to put the camera on hold because I'm going to let this dry a little bit more. I think that's why I was having problems going through these other ones. So I'll be right back. Okay, let's punch this one now. Boy, that does not want to go down. I think it's stuck now. So when that happens, you can just take a pokey tool and hopefully it will unstick. There, boy, I hope I didn't mess that up. No, I didn't. Ooh, that was a rough one. I know I'm way over here on the other side, but I think this needed to dry more. But I don't want to bump the camera. There. Whew. All right, let's take a look at this one. Oh, now isn't that pretty? That is really beautiful. And so again, when you fold your page to put it in your journal, that is how they look. Isn't that a neat idea? And they're a lot more stronger. As I was cutting down pages to put in the journal, I came across this page and I saw this image and I thought to myself, I have to do something with that door. Now you recall when I did the 3-pocket tutorial that did have this small door here that I did, make it into an opening, and I thought I have got to do the same thing here for the journal. So what I've done is I reprinted it again on a heavier paper, which is 48 pounds. Here's the door, and I printed a similar image on the other side. Let's see if this works. So here's our door. Before I cut it out, I'm going to glue another door onto the back side. So I'm going to cut it in half. So what I'm cutting in half is my second image of my door. So let's bring this in. That's exactly half. And so then I would need to glue this here so that the door is on both sides. Let's just trim this edge off here. I keep thinking I need to make sure that that it's not completely glued down, but I think I can have it completely glued down. The whole page. I think I need to trim this edge too, just to make sure. Let's just see. I think this had to be trimmed too. And then if we just glue these two sections together, lining up these lines, it should work. Well, you know what? All we can do is hope for the best. Let's just do it. And I wanted to make sure that it's glued down well. So I'm going to use my Beacon's 3-in-1 glue, and it will give me an opportunity to adjust it if I need to. Okay, I got a heck of a lot of glue there, huh, peeps? I'm going to bring it in so I can see it. And I'm going to just lay it right on top and then move it over just ever so slightly so that it's even with that line. Okay. I'm going to let this dry before I attempt to cut it out. So I'll be back with you guys. So I've got to cut out the door, and I realize that I have to be very careful so that it still will be hinged here and will just fan open. So I'm going to take my little, oh, this is just a little Fisker's hand cutter. And so it's going to have to open up down the center. So I think I'm going to take a ruler just so I make sure that the lines are straight. And there is a steel edge on this side of the ruler. So I'm going to lay it right in there up against where I need to cut. And I think I'm going to start here and cut down to the bottom of the door. Okay, and then I've got to cut across there at the bottom so that it can open up. So once again, I'm going to lay my ruler down and cut across. Okay. And I need to just come in here. You can with a pair of scissors too. Okay. And then it's got to be cut, I think, to the around here. So what I want to do is mark where I want to stop cutting. So I'm going to lay my ruler across the page. And I'm going to mark with a pencil. I think I want to stop it right about here where that blue starts on that one page. So I know it'll stop there, but I need to stop on this side. And I'm just going to mark on both sides with a pencil where it is I need to stop, and then I can erase that when need be. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to come in around. I hope you can see this, but I'm just going to very slowly come around the door and stop right where my pencil mark is. Okay. And I think when I come around the other side, that other may cut. So let me come to this other side here. So as I come around, okay, I think there. Okay, let's come up here. Okay, so that worked, I believe. And then, like you've seen me do before when I did that other door, yeah, I'm going to come in with my score buddy here and score where my fold line needs to be. So I'm just going to take a look here. And instead of this one, I need my bigger one. Because I need to see past the page itself so I make sure it's lined up correctly. So let's see here. I think, let's just see if I start here, if I just start, if it will help me just to stay where I need to score that, if I just follow the line, and hopefully my tool will help me do that. I'm going to do the same thing over here on this side. I'm just going to I'm going to start running, and I'm going to just go down to the bottom. And the grooves in this scoreboard helps me stay within the straight line. So after scoring it down both sides, it made for a nice even area to fold the doors so that they open up perfectly. And gluing that same image to the back helped it so much to be perfect. So when you turn the page of your journal, you'll have this, then your door, and as you turn the page, you will have the same image. Now, when you do have it in your journal, you need to have just the right page to go behind it. And remember, we did this one with these edges. Let's slip this in. Let's say this is in our journal, sewed in there. So you're going to flip this page. That looks nice together. And it's coming apart because it's not folded in there. But anyway, so then you're going to have this page, and then you're going to have that image as you open the door. As you turn it over, this will be there. So I will make sure that these two pages are together in the journal. So that's my video today. I hope this helped you. I hope it gave you some ideas and some inspiration for putting pages together in your own journal. And once again, thank you so much for joining me today at Juanette's Crafting Corner. And I will see you again next Monday. Thanks, and bye-bye.